What's up, you wonderful sluts? It's your boy Oxy coming at you with another MMA Monday video. I know what you're thinking, man. Why do you seem tired in every single one of these? It's because I am. I'm actually recording this today on Monday, because a motherfucker kind of got busy over the weekend. I was supposed to record it yesterday, but yesterday I was like recovering physically. I was so tired. I was so fucking tired. We're going to be looking at the flyweight division to get you ready for this weekend's card, UFC 290 on July 8th. What a fantastic fucking card so far. The co-main event is going to be champion Brandon Moreno versus Alexandre Pantoja. So we're going to be going through the list of the top 10 to get you introduced into this division. Last week I kind of caught you guys up with the featherweight division, and today I'm going to catch you up with flyweight. Flyweight division, aka the 125-pound division. We're going to be starting with Brandon Moreno, the champion, who recently had a back and forth with his title fights with Deiveson Figueiredo, who is number 1 on our list. Brandon Moreno has that star power. He's from Mexico. He's the first UFC Mexican-born champion. Now today we're only going to be looking at the men's division, since that is all the time that we have to cover. So I'm kind of taking these introduction videos event by event. So actually next week we're going to be looking at the 125-pound division for the women, because that is the Holly Holm versus Bueno Silva fight card. At number 1, we're looking at Deiveson Figueiredo. Deiveson Figueiredo, aka the former flyweight champion, might not be too tied down to this division. He just cuts way too much weight, and it's like really strenuous on his body. So he might be moving up to 135 pounds, which is bantamweight. I'd like to see what he does over there compared. He is a pretty big flyweight, but I think he's in that situation where he's a big flyweight but kind of a small bantamweight. Number 2, who is Alexandre Pantoja this weekend. Now I'm going to be honest with you guys, for this division I don't know too much. I don't watch the 125-pound division too closely. To be fair, the UFC has had a lack of promotion to this division. Alexandre Pantoja is coming off of 3 top 10 wins, with his only losses being Askar Askarov back in 2020 and Deiveson Figueiredo in 2019, which at that point it got fight of the night. I think you can expect really exciting things. Like, he's a very entertaining fighter. He's 25-5 and only 7 of those being decision. 10 wins by submission, 8 wins by knockout. He's definitely deserved this title shot, I feel, with the 3 wins in the top 10. At number 3 we have Amir Albazi. He is currently 17-1, so he has a pretty impressive number. He has 5 fights in the UFC. I don't know if he's scheduled for 6 fights at all. His only loss coming from Jose Torres, and that was a unanimous decision, I think. He actually just recently got a win over Kai Kara-France, which is 100% not an easy feat at all. This guy is pretty impressive. At number 4 we have Brandon Royval, who is 3-2 in his last 5, losing to Brandon Moreno and Alexandre Pantoja. He's still trying to make his run at the title. So I think if anybody else is going to get it after Alexandre, dependent on how that fight goes, he might be the guy up next for the title shot, because it's either him or Amir. And to kind of round out the top 5, we have Kai Kara-France, who is 3-2 in his last 5, with his 2 losses being to Brandon Moreno and Amir Albazi. He's a pretty decent and exciting fighter. However, I don't see him going back up. I don't see him kind of making his way back up to get the belt, unfortunately. And at number 6 we have Mateus Nicolau, and he was on a 6-fight win streak until fighting Brandon Royval just recently. He has finished a majority of his fights, but unfortunately he also has been finished in all his fights that he loses, which is only 3. He is 19-3 at this point in time. He has 1 no contest. But yeah, it's interesting to see, because he was in the UFC previously, coming from the Ultimate Fighter, and then he got cut, fought 2 fights outside of the organization, and then came back into the UFC. He kind of fluctuated between bantamweight and flyweight, but I think now he's kind of just sticking to flyweight. He did get finished in round 1 though, so we'll see how it does on the mental part, see if he comes back from it and fights in the future. At number 7 we have Alex Perez, who's so far his only recent losses has been 2 champions. His last fight was over a year ago, so I'm not sure how he's doing, what's going on with him, but it has been a while. At number 8 we have Matt Schnell, who's been fighting in the UFC for a decent bit amount of time. The only thing is that his record as of recently is kind of dodgy. I think he's just on the decline on these fights. I don't see him breaking into the top 5 anymore. I see him dropping out of the top 10 soon. At number 9, we have Monel Cape, who is on a 3-fight win streak. However, one of those fights he did miss weight, and so they fought at a catch weight. Be on the lookout for him. I think he'll be doing good. He lost his first 2 UFC fights. I don't know if he'll get past Mateus, but we'll see. And rounding out the top 10, we have Tim Elliott, who is 4-1 in his last 5. He's been in the UFC for a decent bit amount of time. His last 4 wins are pretty much unanimous decision. Like I said, I don't know too much about these guys. You know, the UFC hasn't done much of promoting for them. Yeah, the majority of his wins are decision, and the majority of his losses are also decision. He's 19-12, so double digits before he even hit 20. You know what I mean? The people that he's lost to are pretty fucking good. Askar Askarov, Davidson Figueiredo, Brandon Royval, Mateus Nicolau, who is number 6, and actually an honorable mention too. Well, the number 11 is Mohamed Mokaev. This guy is pretty interesting. He's undefeated. He is 10-0 and is currently on a tear through the UFC, breaking the top 15 in just 4 fights. And I think as time progresses, he'll definitely break the top 5. I really do think he'll do that. Anyways, that is it for this video. Sorry if it's kind of short. There's not too much to talk about in the bantamweight division. I mean, that division is kind of just throwing crickets, to be honest with you guys. And that's pretty much just coming from the UFC. They just don't promote these fights too often. Thank you guys for watching the video. I will try to be more energetic in the next one. All right, y'all. See ya.